Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Today, we are going to be talking about the TSM versus Dignitas series that happened this weekend and all the memes, controversy, Twitter beef, all that stuff going on surrounding it. As you guys know, generally I am a fan of TSM. I do root for them, but overall I'm a fan of the entire LCS. I try to analyze everything, break down the news, stories, everything with as unbiased of opinion as I can. But at the end of the day, this is my channel. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions and everything. But it's not like I'm some like diehard TSM can do no wrong, anything like that. And with all the recent controversy and everything that's been going on, with some of the dumb things that Reggie's been saying and the whole import discussion in general, and then TSM playing up against a full North American team in the same weekend, I was definitely rooting for Dignitas, one. And two, the memes just absolutely right themselves. It was absolutely hilarious. Obviously, with Dignitas tweeting out after they did upset TSM, no imports, no imports, no imports, no imports, which was just so funny in so many ways. They did end up going on to delete this tweet, which was kind of weird. They actually deleted a lot of their tweets from this weekend. I don't exactly understand that, but we'll be talking about all that in this video today. But before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick, if you guys have not already, definitely take a second and smash that like button. I would appreciate it so much. It really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, getting my videos, my content out to more and more people. That would be absolutely insane. It's honestly one of the best and easiest ways to help support my content and help support my channel if that's something you're interested in doing. Also, subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. We recently hit 6,400 subscribers. Let's keep running the numbers up. With that being said, here we go, talking about this. So, again, it all starts kind of with this little back and forth going on between Vulcan and Reggie this weekend. If you want a full import team, go buy a team in that region. Ignorant tweet. If every LCS team left the LCS, you'll be out of a job, buddy, and probably be paid the minimum. And then he starts saying, you saying I'd work at McDonald's, man? And that really just started all these McDonald's jokes from there, with Core JJ getting in on it, Avali, Perks, everyone getting involved. And the meme just really took on a life of its own. It was absolutely hilarious. And then again, you know, like I said, him, you know, kind of just roasting NA players, NA talent, and then TSM having to face off against Dignitas in that same weekend. The only full North American team, I believe the only full North American team in the league, or one of them, but the best performing full North American team at the least, is absolutely hilarious. And again, they're very, very close in the standings. This is going to be a big game for whoever did end up winning it. And this is what happened during the game. You know, 23 minutes in, it's a very, very close game. TSM is down 700 gold. TSM had not played very well up until this point, but they start sneaking a Baron. And if TSM is able to get this, I don't believe that Dignitas had any vision on this. If TSM is able to get this Baron here, they have a comp that scales amazingly. They're going to really be able to snowball and just take control of this game. But we can see what ends up playing out here. Obviously, Dignitas does kind of start to realize where TSM is once they don't see them anywhere on the map. Dardoch does get stunned. He gets CC'd by the Rel for a long time, but he is able to go in and get the Smite steal. And after that, things would just really, really go downhill for TSM. Aframu picks up the kill on the Sword Art. Aframu picks up the double kill there on the Lost as well. Spica is able to trade back a kill on his Soligo, but it really wouldn't get much better from TSM from there as Neo takes down Spica. And then Power of Evil gets chased down by Fate God as well, even though Huni is able to clean up that kill. Obviously, Power of Evil gets the kill, but Huni does kind of clean it up at the end. So to me, this part was absolutely hilarious, and as soon as this happened, I already started tweeting about it, like, this is the one North American player on TSM missing the Smite. You know, Smite steal, it's always a weird thing, especially when it's 50-50. Like, you can't really blame Spica too much, and TSM as a team, it's really a call that they make. Yes, they didn't zone the Skarner off. I believe that Huni didn't turn him into a squirrel either on the Lulu, having the polymorph. There's a bunch of different other ways, and Baron calls are obviously a team decision, but it is just hilarious. You know, again, like I said, the memes really do write themselves. And Reggie, a guy talking all this crap about imports, funny, or talking all this crap about native players, funny that his one native player misses the Smite there and gets it stolen, but also funny that now at this portion of the game, Dignitas had almost total control of this game and should really be able to win it and take down TSM, the 4 imports against the no imports. But the game was not over yet. We're just a couple minutes late. This is like 1 whole minute later into the game, I believe. The next highlight is about to kick in as they do take down the mid tower after they pick up the Baron there. So just a really, really game snowballing out of control for Dignitas. A minute later, they go for this dragon. Dardoch is there again. People are saying it's not going to happen again, but it happens again. Dignitas steals the dragon. That puts them on sole point, and then the ensuing team fight, even though Power View was able to pick up an early kill, would not go well for TSM. Fate God takes down Spica, and then TSM is just all split up, getting run down from all directions. Neo takes down Sword Art there. Soligo with a nice flash ult on the Azir there, gets thrown into the wall by the Gnar ult right over top of it. I mean, and then the game was over. I mean, it went from a very, very close game at 23 minutes to completely over 2 minutes later once TSM was down like 5 or 6k gold off of those two plays. And again, Spica is usually really, really good at smiting, and he's usually really, really reliable, but losing 2 smite fights in a row to Dardoch, who was TSM's jungler last year, who they kicked because he wasn't good enough, he couldn't play well, whatever, and the North American player, like, oh my gosh, there's so many absolutely hilarious things. And again, I'm normally a TSM fan, normally a guy who roots for them, but this was just absolutely poetic, everything that happened. And then obviously you got people wondering, hey, Reggie's probably pissed he couldn't get a 5th import. If he had an import jungler there, TSM wins those smites, they win this game easy. But also, how can TSM lose to a 5 North American team? It doesn't make any sense if imports are so much better. And it just got people, talking about all this stuff. Kobe had this really banger tweet that I liked that said, are you telling me the McDonald's team of 5 NA took down imports? Congrats, Dignitas. There's the Reggie comments coming back about our superstar support is more expensive than the bottom 2 LCS team salaries combined. And at that time, he was talking about Dignitas and Golden Guardians, which is pretty hilarious. Again, why would you be bragging about spending more money than people? Yes, he's calling them cheap and saying that they probably should be spending more money. But again, if you're going to say that and then lose to these teams, then you kind of look like the fool, obviously, for just having spent all that money for nothing. And then now currently in the standings, TSM and Dignitas are tied. I believe they're both 6 and 3 right now, which is just another absolutely hilarious moment. And it just gets people just going and going and going. So funny. Again, I'm not sure exactly why Dignitas deleted this, but there are just tons of memes surrounding this where you get the Jack quote about racist and xenophobia and stuff like that surrounding it, and it really just turned into Dignitas kind of being this like beacon of hope for North America all of a sudden, trying to get people rallied behind them. There's all these memes about no imports and the full North American team and the strength of America behind them and everybody supporting them and all this stuff. And Dignitas was tweeting a bunch, Reggie was tweeting a bunch, TSM was tweeting a bunch. Like, Twitter was just absolutely hilarious yesterday. There was so much stuff coming out. I can just go on and on and on about all the different tweets that were coming out from all these people. I know Reggie just continued to tweet more and more stuff. People are just saying how salty he is. He's saying Dignitas management is crushing it. They're somehow managing to win more matches than top teams that spend 4 times as much. No troll. Moneyball. GG. Well played. And again, it's honestly hard to tell if he's trolling or if he's I assume he's just super salty. But I can't really tell if he is trolling or if he's actually giving props to them. I'm sure he just thinks that these are just games that don't matter. And TSM is a better team. And by the end of the year it'll all shake itself out. And I do believe that as well. Yes, it is hilarious right now that Dignitas and TSM have the same record. It's hilarious that Dignitas has a better record than Team Liquid, these teams with all these imports that are spending all this money, but I don't really expect stuff to stay this way, and we will have another video later this week talking about whether we think Dignitas is legit, where Dignitas really shapes out in the LCS right now, where they are going to be, maybe at the end of the split or even in the summer split and stuff like that, because I think that is a really, really interesting discussion and a whole nother thing that we can talk about. But just so many different tweets. This one was one of my favorites as well, talking about the salt levels of different places, all these salt lakes, and then TSM Reggie sitting here with a salinity of 338 grams per kilogram. I thought that was hilarious. So many good tweets, so many hilarious things, and I think it's good for the scene overall. Again, when people are getting into games, like Dignitas is usually not a super popular team. They're not a team that usually gets great viewership or anything like that. But for so many people to get involved in a TSM Dignitas game and just be tweeting in support of Dignitas and lifting them up and rooting for them and getting all this stuff, it was really making the best of a bad situation. And there is, sometimes you do want in sports and leagues and stuff to have like a good side and a bad side. And it does create these storylines and get people more involved and get people more excited. And I do like to see it. I just wish it wasn't in such an unfortunate way. I wish it wasn't, TSM and Reggie just consistently making fools of themselves and kind of, you know, they've always been a team that's been kind of hated by a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of teams, all that stuff, and they've never really shied away from that, and I don't necessarily think that is a bad thing, but I wish it wasn't in such like a ignorant, arrogant, whatever you want to call it way, and in such a thing that could potentially be super, super detrimental to the league and the LCS as a whole as well. Again, no matter what you think about the whole import situation, I don't really think there's much argument that at the least Reggie, Jack, you know, guys like this are really mishandling the situation and just kind of going about it just the absolutely wrong way and being really, really like disrespectful and stuff to people. I mean, here you can see all of Reggie's tweets from before. It's kind of funny. It's really cringy. And in the end, it's just kind of sad, I guess, in a way. Just super, super weird. But there's so many McDonald's memes right now. So many memes about imports. It's really getting the community, you know, fired up and like just going at it. And I think, again, most people on Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, all this stuff are really in favor of the import rule, not only just because they want to see North American talent, but they just don't want to get overrun completely by imports that they've never even heard of. They don't want to become LCK3 or LCK Lite or European Lite or whatever, but the fans and teams and players and everyone should really be in support of this rule, no matter what region you're from, because there's so many different angles. It would be bad for so many different people, so many different fans, organizations, teams, players, leagues. I mean, in the end, really the only people it's good for is the owners of the North American teams, potentially the North American fans, if it would actually improve results. But again, I think there is kind of a lot of arguments to be made there. So in the end, pretty hilarious that TSM did drop this game to Dignitas. It'll be interesting to see exactly what this means going forward in the season, but I do think Spica needs to watch out a little bit. Otherwise, you might catch him at a McDonald's near you very, very soon, taking your order, you know, flipping burgers, asking if you want fries with that. I don't know. He better watch out because, again, any North American player, if all the LCS teams left, they would have no team to play on. They'd be making minimum wage. Like, I don't know, dude. It's so weird. I don't get it. So stupid. But I did think this was funny, and I thought this game just played out so, I don't know if ironically is the word, but it's played out so perfectly this weekend. And in the end, again, I'm a TSM fan. I'm glad TSM lost, and I really hope this whole situation, you know, finds a logical, reasonable conclusion in the end. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out the YouTube algorithm. I would appreciate it so, so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this whole situation? You think TSM lost because they didn't have an import jungler? You think Dignitas is for real? You think TSM's for real? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on anything we talked about in today's video. Subscribe to stay up to date on my latest content. Hopefully I catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace!